What's good? It's your boy, Czar, all rights reserved. Now, when the Aries Spirits thing happened, I always give time before I respond to something. I'm glad I did, because your first initial response is rage. Then you're coming to some peace in terms with maybe he did it because of this and that. Maybe Tiffany Haddish just invited him and he came along and was reading a script he didn't know. But here's the fact of the matter. I got to look at these people as adults. Some of them have kids. They are leading young people. And there are young people that watch your comedy, as well as Tiffany Haddish. Now, here's the crazy part. So, because Aries Spears was the male in the video that said what he said, we're not going to address Tiffany Haddish. She lost her morals for that scene, or did she hold back and decide just to accept the money and keep it pushing? See, this is the stuff I'm talking about. Because we all know about the humiliation rituals that they have to do and the different enactments they have to do because the director says so. But the sad truth is, Aries Spears represents a large majority, in my opinion, allegedly. Aries Spears represents a large portion of the upper class that is in Hollywood, to my knowledge. If someone would like to prove me wrong, please show me the report that proves me wrong. Because I started sitting back looking this stuff up. Yo, some of these stories about these guys that are in that don't really get talked about. How? How? How are you a director in your 40s? And now I'm not even talking about them. How are you a director in your 40s? In your 40s, and they're thinking you got anything to do with touching a child. You ought to be ashamed. But you're one of the guys who lived the life of something he showed, but you're also one of the guys that stood in front of a council and said Aries Spears is this, he's that. You're also the judger of him and deciding whether he has a career. Here's the problem with that. If what he's doing is truly how you think and feel, sir, at the end of the day, you take the biggest loss. If you really think that way when you look at little boys or little girls, you take the biggest loss of ever, because that is who you are. Okay? You guys can poke pride at him, judge him, openly disclaim him, say his career's done, all this type of stuff you guys want to say because it's out in the light and you're seeing how parents are feeling. But if you truly feel that way looking at a child, you're the dirt that these women and fathers and anyone around truly needs to know about. So you guys want to persecute him on this ad. And I'm going to tell y'all the truth. Because here's my thing. Everything's an agenda. This ad was just to test the waters. Just to test the waters. They're just testing how America feels about children and adults and thoughts that adults could have that are weird. Weird adults, not normal adults, could have. They're testing your reaction. They're going to continually test your reaction till they can take you to a point where you're null to it, so you don't even acknowledge it. They're testing where your mind's at. Do you feel me? They're testing where your heads are. Don't be deceived. This was a test on the nation. Tiffany, there's some stuff I want to say, but I'm going to save a video for you because you're everywhere, but nowhere, if that makes sense. You're everywhere, but nowhere. There's no time where I'm going to say, let me turn on that Tiffany Haddish comedy. Ever. Ever. You are worse than Aries Spears. And I say that because as a female and a mother, you stood by watching them do it. You stood and watched. You thought it would be funny as a woman. Everybody's worried about Aries Spears. No, what about Tiffany Haddish? She thought that'd be funny as a woman. You're a woman. Right? Correct? Am I right? You stood by and acted in it. Yo, you guys, the only thing that can make this worse is if it was Tiffany Haddish's idea to do this skit. That is the only thing that can make it worse. As a female, seeing it, it wouldn't hit a string like, hold on, I'm a woman. How are other women going to think? That's why I'm telling you guys, hear me, hear me. It was a test on the nation to see your reaction, to see how much you could take, to see how far it could go, to see what could be said. Only thing that didn't happen was the action on TV, but they still sounded it out. They're testing all of you. Yo, you're telling me there's no adult alive in America that thinks about children that way? There's not one? Okay. Well, if there is one, it was a test on you all to see your reaction, to see your outrage, to desensitize you to children being touched in that way. Is it not? What was funny about it? Somebody tell me what was funny about that. What was so comical? It wasn't even funny. You're looking at it, you're like, wow. You're if you did laugh, you're laughing because his voice, he sounded like a frog with something caught in his throat. Like he sounded stupid. That was funny. But what he was saying, when you realized it, you're like, this guy's out of control. It's not him. It's not just him. Excuse me. It's not just him. Tiffany Haddish. If his career is over, her career better be over too. It's not a one-way street. She should be scrutinized more heavily because she's a female and she chose to get up in this video and didn't say nothing. Humor is humor until you actually realize that's the way people really think. Disgusting. They're trying to throw us off. It's not going to work. Hey, it's not going to work. Loading up the next reel. All rights reserved.